Before this video even begins, I just want to say a huge thank you for 10k. I mean, that's unbelievable that I got it this fast, and it's all because of you guys. So to celebrate, I've made a variety channel. This channel I'll be posting basically everything that's not For Honor that I play, so, you know, if you want to see that, go throw a sub at it, and, you know, thank you again in advance. And let's get to the You know, Havoc said something really relatable recently.
Like, fucking 90% of the roster. I love this game, but I legit hate fucking like 80-90% of the characters, man.
There's so many heroes in this game that just nobody likes to fight on the regular. You know, Orochi, Afira, Ocelotl, Fiji, just to kind of name a few. I think it's kind of easier to list off the heroes people actually like fighting. But it seems like there was a point when For Honor's lifespan where almost every single hero that came out was just such an annoyance to fight. See, for a very long time when we had the DLCs, heroes were kind of annoying, but, you know, they weren't awful to deal with 90% of the time. Then the Wulin came out, and man oh man, that was a meta shift, to be honest. It honestly felt kind of pay to win with these heroes when they came out, because basically, they just didn't play like the rest of the cast did. The Wulin just hit harder or the same, they were faster with their 400 MS chain lights on some of the heroes, and they were overall just way stronger than anything on the roster's ever seen. Now, today it's about half and half, where some of the Wulin are as effective as using a napkin as a flashbang, to the titans that reign in dominions and duels. When people ask me which is my least favorite Wulin, I honestly always say Zanhu because he's just really boring to play as and fight against, but that's kind of a skill issue on my end. But right behind him is Shaolin. There is so much hate and love about Shaolin, and that's why he is my guilty pleasure hero. His gameplay is immensely fun, but to play against it, I would rather dip my balls in a deep fryer, covered in bread and milk. This hero is almost everything. He feels like the devs were handing out a basket and were told, hey guys, put one idea in the basket and we're going to use everything you guys put in. Light chains, infinite chains, 500 MS bash, mid-chain bash, feintable mid-chain bash, crushing counters, deflex, undodgeable, key stance. I feel like I could put the entirety of the Knights faction's moveset together and Shaolin's would still be longer. This makes Shaolin feel really fun and gamely because when you're playing him, you could say to yourself, man, I have so many viable options. But when you're playing against him, you're thinking, man, he just has only viable options. Basically, I'm going to go through every single little thing people don't like about Shaolin or I don't like myself, more or less the community's dislike of the Shaolin character. First things first, the least annoying thing, and I really say this lightly, is Shaolin's voice lines. Look, I love the voice acting, and Tiandi's as well, but it's so loud and easily spammable. A lot of people had this complaint when he came out because, you know, for a Shaolin monk, he wasn't very silent, you know, since Shaolin monks are known for their vows of silence. Okay, now that I'm done being extremely picky to pad out the runtime, let's get to the meat and bones of Shaolin's core annoyance, and that will fully revolve around his moveset. Going down the list, his light attacks, I would say, are the best in the game for a simple reason. Well, two simple reasons. Easy to confirm damage and stun lock. Both complement each other because to confirm his damage, you need that immense amount of stun lock. But the stun lock can already be useful without confirming anything. The number one most common thing I like to do with Shaolin is spam the ever-living shit out of his triple lights like it's my last right on Earth. To have the person beside me get a free heavy attack. No, that's fine. Just for the person beside me to get a free heavy attack. Yeah, that's better. And yes, even Hitokiri charged heavies are confirmed by Shaolin lights. And the worst part about these lights is that I can delay every single one of them for about 50 to 100 MS. I don't know the real numbers, but I'll put the comparisons beside each other. With these lights come a massive amount of hit stun and stun lock, and yes, this can also work against people in revenge. So yet again, many ganks come down to, if my opponent gets revenge, I'm going to burn half of that timer with an immense amount of stun lock. And you know, these damages on the light attacks, they're not something to scoff at either. Now, what I do actually like about this is that if you want to go into key stance, you can't use all three lights. So, you know, you either trade better offense for confirmed damage. This is actually really well mechanically thought out. Good job, Ubisoft. Before we even continue more into his moveset, I want to look at his feats. Well, one feat in singular. If you know what I'm talking about, yes, I'm going to be talking about Blink. I personally don't use Blink myself because I honestly just kind of find it really cheap and cheesy, so I tend to use Winter's Advantage over it. This feat is one of the most annoying bullshit feats in the game besides Kunai and Gunpowder Surprise. This feat, 90% of the time, feels like it's just free damage the moment you hit the button. There probably is an actual dodge time that you have to follow, but I think I can talk for the entire casual community when I say that the window to dodge it is not big enough. Most of the time, it's the, if I can't kill this guy at 1 HP, I'm just gonna hit this button and win. Which for the casual player never feels good because 90% of the time they see Blink coming, try to dodge it, but somehow they just didn't. Now that his feats are out of the way, we can talk about his bash, and oh boy, haha, yet again, another bash opener. How many times are we gonna do this shit, man? But wait, there's more. Shaolin can light and heavy after missed bashes, giving him the "you can't punish me consistently" effect. What do I mean by this? Here, I'll explain it very easily. When an Ocelotl of all heroes misses his bash opener, he is forced to sit in his recovery phase, aka guard break works 100% of the time as a punish. But with heroes like Shaolin and Orochi, nope, you have to figure out which follow-up they're going to use after their missed bash. If the Shaolin's a bad player, 90% of the time, he's going to instantly spam the light attack option, so now you have to parry the light, and then you get your punish. But you can just do nothing or throw a heavy attack, so 3 branching paths after his missed bash. And keep in mind, 2 out of these 3 options will continue his offense because they're both enhanced. So not only did you make the right 50-50 correct read, but now you have to make a 33-33-33. That's not even including him feinting the heavy attack to guard break. Nothing about this is fun. Bashes, as I've said in almost every video, are the best offense in the game. Missing a bash should always result in you being guard broken. Let's go all the way now to his key stance. It's really good. Not like broken fundamentally, but it's just a really good tool. You have no way to guard attacks, but in key stance you have a way to crush and counter with your light attacks, and you can dodge attack out of it. Where people have problems with key stance is yet again blue-orange mix-up. Where heroes have blue-orange mix-ups, they take way less skill to play than other heroes. When playing characters like, let's say, Lawbringer or Kensei, you have to really think about your next move, but when you play Shaolin, you can just kind of backstep light into key stance, and then force your opponents to make a 50-50. And to continue after that 50-50, he gets another 50-50, an in-chain bash that has a feintable property and just for fun has a really wonky hitbox and dodge time, while also adding the fact that he has no GB vulnerability after it if he throws a heavy. So yet again, we have another I just dodged his bash, but I have to make a secondary read. After a sweep, Shaolin can do either nothing, a heavy attack to deny GB frames, or throw a heavy and then feint it if the opponent hasn't thrown a guard break yet. It really isn't even that hard for even a schmuck like me to be unpunishable with Shaolin with these tools, and I'm only rep 5 with him. And just to add extra to it, I'd like to point out his sweep as a mechanic. It's a knockdown, and with most cases, if you get hit while you're on the ground, you get up faster. Dormant Center are great examples of this. But with Shaolin, when you get sweeped, you have to go through the entire animation, and on top of that, it revenge locks you if you're in the air. As I said, he's my guilty pleasure. I love playing him, but to sit there and think I beat these people with pure skill alone, I'd be lying to myself. And finally, we can talk about the last thing, and it is by far in my wholesome opinion, the worst part about Shaolin, and it is a bug in his kit. Flickering is not something new in For Honor. We had Shaman flickering back in 2019, Val can sort of do it, Hitakiri has one, but I think the easiest one to do in the world is Shaolin's. I'm not even gonna feel bad for saying how it's done, because it's just way too easy to do, and you've probably done it on accident and never realized it. People probably also have tutorials online, so it's just nothing new. I'm hoping bringing attention to this is going to spread awareness and have this fixed a bit faster. How Shaolin Flicker works is basically that a Shaolin will go into key stance and input either a light attack or an undodgeable heavy attack. And then after letting go of that button, they will hit the opposite button decently right after it. This breaks the animation to look awful. The chance of parrying this flicker is next to none if you aren't expecting it, and even if you are, it is really hard. And it's so common to see with high rep Shaolins. I remember I watched the Havoc video and he didn't even realize the Shaolin was flickering.
He has to make a read after a read.
And the worst part is that he was doing it on accident. To make it even worse is that the people who are using it deliberately feel like they've done nothing wrong. They are knowingly using it as an exploit for the sake of gaining a competitive advantage, which should be a bannable offense, and maybe it is, I don't know. And they sit there like they've done nothing wrong. Their mindset is, if it's in the game, I'm fair to use it. And yeah, if something was put in the game deliberately, you're fully allowed to use it. But that's if Ubisoft put it in the game. But Ubisoft had no intention for this to be in the game, and you should have no right to use it. Ubisoft did not intend for this to exist at all, so it shouldn't be allowed or to be used without any consequence. I know how easy it is to use, but I refuse to use this against a living, breathing person because I'm not an asshole. If I win, it's going to be done by the way Ubisoft intended me to win. I know that last part seemed really angry, but I really just hate this, and I don't like how people see this and then think, it's fine, right? I'm not going to get banned for this. You should, but let's not get into that. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you got this far, I love you guys, and I hope you have a great day.